Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be both continuing and finishing off the narration and character voice acting for the side story of Flurry to the Flame. And yes, considering this is gonna be the final episode, several things will be included as always, so we'll talk about that in a moment. But before we do so, to anybody new to the channel and bumping into it through this episode, if you want to start with the narration from the beginning, the playlist is in the description of the video, as are several other playlists and much more on the channel, so enjoy! And of course, to anybody who has been interacting, leaving comments, likes, or just watching the videos in general, especially for this newest narration series on the channel, thank you very much. Like I said, because of Capcom stuff, all of these episodes do have a copyright thing on them, so you guys interacting with these episodes, leaving comments, and maybe potentially even recommending them to someone else is definitely getting more eyes on the channels, and it's helping me quite a ton to get propelled a bit more in the algorithm, so, you know, it helps. It makes the channel grow. So, thank you very much. And hey, the more it grows, the more I'll be able to do in the future, so thank you. Thank you very much. Alright, with that out of the way, before we begin the quick recap, several things that will be included in today's final episode. So, of course, first with the recap, then we're gonna, before we start the story, include all of the enemy descriptions that have been so far part of the maps, all the way up until the final map today, which is the boss battle, of course. I'm doing it before we begin the story, just not to break the tension. Obviously, the boss description will be included in the episode, and the final boss battle stage will be included. This one will be quite unique, because unlike in previous narrations, I will have to be doing this one live as I'm recording it. So this one will be unique. However, I will not be commenting over it. I will just let the thing play so you guys can enjoy and watch. But it's gonna be probably a scuff thing. It's a fight, all right. Anyway, that will be included, and of course, at the once we are done with the story, I will obviously talk a bit about my thoughts, opinions, characters, yada yada, the usual at the end. My thoughts, essentially. But that will be for the end. But anyway, let us begin with the usual. For those of you who wanna skip over the recap, timestamp as always in the description of the video below. Alright, so on the previous part, we began with pretty much a screaming Noir Corn and a screaming Scholar Cat high in the air as they are still on the Rathalos, which is also on the way back to his nest, which is in the tunnel system that wasn't, as we will learn as well, not just dug up by the villagers when they went to mine the Originium, but was also a natural thing done by a specific type of beasts that lived, or rather lived in those regions, but were pretty much hunted to extinction in at least the area. However, the Rathalos goes in, the two fall off. They have then a small little conversation between themselves, comparing their two worlds, the necessity of Originium and the necessity of hunting monsters in the other world, and then they also hear someone's plea for help. Meanwhile, Yato and the Palico are left with Yoshitaka in the back as they are trying to catch up to where the two of them went with the Rathalos. And as Yato and Palico are discussing things, the old hunter suddenly becomes very agitated and enraged and threatens the two of them, or rather threatens Yato directly to stop going after his prey. She's obviously reluctant and is trying to calm him down, pointing out that he will not hurt her, especially because he jumped to save her earlier during the fight with the Rathalos, and Yato did so in turn to push him as well out of the way from the Rathalos. However, he is very maddened and pushed to pushed very much to the brink at this point and exhausted, and does attack her, even though he only very slightly scrapes her with the spear, and she deflects it. He does break out into a panic and runs away upon realizing what he just did. But Yato doesn't go to pursue him because she realizes that she herself is actually very severely injured on her thigh by the Rathalos during the previous scuffle, and is bleeding. Luckily no arteries were damaged, but oh boy, when someone tells you they can see the bone, that is already a hazard and a half. But she does tend to the wound very quickly with the help of Smithy and a very searing hot knife, and cauterizes the wound after she cleans it up. She props herself up and goes then after the old hunter with Smithy together. Meanwhile, in the cave, Noir, Korn, and the feline find a young female researcher that has been in the cave system for a while, observing both the cave system and its ecology, and also the Rathalos that came in. She does describe the cave and that the mining has been pretty detrimental, not just to the environment outside, but also especially in here, and that there is a catastrophe looming. But at the moment, if they follow her plan, they could collapse the cave at least and bury the Rathalos inside and stop it from spreading any more oropathy or endanger the environment around the village. She does lead the two of them even deeper into the mountain, and or rather into the cave, and shows them the consequences of all the mining and stripping of originium and how active the cave actually is. The two of them, rather the scholar and Noir Korn, do see the Rathalos as well and observe it from a high place above it, and accidentally, by dropping an object on top of its head, they piss it off, and it starts spewing fire and enraging. Meanwhile, outside, Yato, who caught up to the old hunter, does have another conversation with him. She also manages to utilize her dual blades for the first time, even including the demon mode that comes with them. And they have a square off with a couple of beasts that have been starting to surround the three of them. The hunter, however, has finally calmed down and is not in his blinded madness rage anymore, and actually has a sort of understanding now with Yato. Especially later on, because Yato does reveal to the old man, once they catch up with Noir Korn, the female researcher, who, by the way, is someone by the name of Mirai Taki, a relative to the headman of the village, Taki, and the scholarly cat, and the group of them decide to use a cart that was used for mining to get out of the burning forest, as now when the Rathalos went into its super rage, it ignited the originium, and the catastrophe is, well, it has started. It is a flaming inferno with fiery tornadoes pretty much engulfing the entire mountain and burning everything to ash. Yato and the old man do have a sort of heart-to-heart moment where she explains to the old man about her prior life, where she was an assassin but was sick and tired of what she was doing and sought a different life, and that is also where she met, or rather on her way out is where she met Noir Korn, and the two of them have been together ever since and have been working for Rhode Island as a whole. And that is pretty much where we left off. Now we are gonna proceed into the story and see what is gonna happen next and how the finale plays out. So then, let us go in and start rattling off the monsters. Right then, like I said, before we go into the story, we shall first off rattle all of the monsters out, excluding the boss, obviously the Rathalos for stage 9. That will be part of when we start doing the stage. But let us begin in order and go over all of the monsters that we have fought so far. So, beginning with the Horn Beast, a herbivore that moves in herds, common to the mountains. Docile creatures, they hide from predators using the mock vegetation wool on their backs, but that's no reason to underestimate their pointed horns. We have the Blazing Originium Slug, a wild infected creature. They spray superheated fluids at their foes, posing more of a threat than typical Originium slugs. Abundant in environments with abnormal energy, their breeding and migration patterns remain a mystery. Then we have the Chitotex Claw Beast, an herbivore that dwells by cliff sides. Their front claws equipped for digging out rock faces. They grow rear shells hard enough to withstand falling stones, but bear unusually soft bellies. Their delicious meat is the primary cause of their falling population. Then we have the Seren Foul Beast, a large and violent foul beast. Boy, cannot read. It shoots sharp, pugnacious feathers from the air to drive prey out of hiding, then uses strong claws to finish targets off once they're on their last legs. Liable to use prey clutched in its claws as an additional weapon against intruders in its territory. Then we also have the Basoro Beast, an herbivore that dwells by cliff sides. The protective boulders that crown their heads are in fact the secretions of a symbiotic organism. Some have witnessed Basoro beasts battling Chitotex claw beasts in turf wars. Then we have the Hari Beast, a dangerous creature with a back covered in thorns. Every thorn has a developed an impressive elastic muscular connection. Upon sensing danger, they can fire their thorns with an abrupt and startling power. Even so, some people still aspire to raise them as pets. To those people, boy, good luck. Then we have the Dire Swine, a robustly built omnivore with an impenetrable epidermis, leaving them with few natural predators. Violent headbutts are both their method of attack and a habit necessary for suppressing the growth of their fangs. And the final one here that we're gonna add is the Cotalator, a predator crafty by nature, with sightings of this species rarely reported. After feeding on the Chitotex claw beasts, it uses the leftover carapace as a defensive tool, blocking fatal attacks in fights. And stage 8, where I just read out the final of the beasties, is gonna be the stage where we are gonna now continue with the story. So then, stage 8, titled Treachery Begets Consequences. Despicable wastewater is futile against the flames of struggle, and after burning, only dust remains. Let's begin. Hurry it up, everyone. But you should run too, Rito. Money isn't as important as your life. Shut up. I'll delay the old man. What are you standing around for? Can I take it you've given up on treating your sister? But... alright. Mom, where are you? Where are you? Mom, don't leave me here. Flurry rush. In the nick of time. Is the child okay? Let me see. All 4 limbs attached, no external wounds. Does it hurt anywhere? Ouch, your armor, Spiky. Oops, sorry. My child. Mom! Thank you. Thank you so much for saving my child. Stay away from the forest. There are wild beasts in the area, and they're increasing in numbers. It's not safe here. Yato, I don't think they came out here because they wanted to. No, there's nothing between the village and the forest. I reinforced it myself not long ago. How could there be beasts here? I need to go and take a look. Calm down. Has the evacuation started?
No, there's no evacuation. The mine exploded, the sky started burning. There's nothing left. Everyone's running. We all panicked when we heard the beasts were coming, but we don't know where to go. Why is it so chaotic? What happened? I tried to pull Naoki away from the crowd, but then a bunch of them ran straight at us. Naoki was gone by the time I caught my breath.
Someone intentionally damaged the netting, letting in the beasts. Anoyaro, where is Taki?
The headman is... Here they come again, Korn.
Hold him off with my whatever. A sword's fine.
Kashiwao, please take these two to a safe place and see if you can help out in the village. Korn and I will stop the beasts.
I don't need you to tell me that. Let's go, Mirai. Mirai? I think she already went in.
How could it have come so quickly? Wasn't it supposed to take more time for the catastrophe to form? Noshige, Inoue, get everybody together and take them to the shelter I told you about. It's safer there. We'll evacuate as a group once we have everybody. Good thing we've prepared for this day. What you said came true. It's burning. The mountains are covered in smoke. The sky is on fire. The mine's gone. What are you doing? Grab your things and get out of here. My livelihood, my life, it's all gone. Headman, will we have to go back to our old life now that the mine's all burned up? Now's not the time for that. Gone. Everything's gone. Why are you panicking like that? The catastrophe isn't even here yet.
Beasts! The beasts are coming!
Beasts? And so close. What happened to the protective netting?
Rito, get over here. What's going on over there? Headman, the netting on the west side is broken. The beasts are in the village. What do we do?
What in blazes is going on here? Everybody calm down. Take the bare minimum of what you need. Gather at the shelter in the northeast and wait for evacuation. The beasts can't get in there.
Headman, is there a shelter in the village?
What?
Did you already know this was going to happen? This happened because you closed the mine, didn't it?
Headman?
Headman!
What are you on about, Rito? You know that isn't true. This is no time to be fooling around. Lives are at stake here. Don't just stand there, folks. Head to the shelter.
No, this is important. Everything we'd worked for is gone. We need justice. Why did the mine have to be closed? Why did this disaster happen right afterward?
Yeah, you closed it for 5 days out of the blue for a maintenance check, and now the mine's gone, and the whole mountain is burning.
Did you close the mine and kept the truth hidden from the others because of that monster that showed up down there? Is that the cause of this disaster? We could have worked together to deal with it.
It was your idea to keep it secret to prevent the panic. And don't think I don't know about your little side business. I know how much you've pocketed ever since your family started handling the transactions. If you have the slightest bit of conscience left, stop delaying the evacuation.
No, how do you explain the shelter? You must have planned this in advance. You're the one who wants to hoard the wealth of the mine all to yourself. You even blew up the cave. You killed those 2 doctors who came to investigate the neuropathy.
Headman! What did you do, Headman? Not you too, Rito. Yes, I'll admit I've wanted to close the mine for a long time. I knew that overexploitation of the mine was bound to bring disaster. The shelter was built in preparation for this day. Why? Because we're over-reliant on originium mining. Originium particles have already entered the environment. The danger has been slowly building for a while now. It was only a matter of time before catastrophe struck, and we'd have to abandon the mine, but I couldn't get everyone to give up on it before. We all benefited too much from the originium trade. That day simply came a little sooner than expected. That's all. And yes, I closed the mine because of that unknown creature. You all know that I used to be a hunter. I judged that it wasn't something we could easily handle, and we couldn't afford to fight it in the tunnels. Ishidori and the others have already been infected with telepathy. People would have died if we'd continued to dig. The responsibility for all of your lives falls on my shoulders. Which is the same reason I'm telling you to evacuate now. Mine or not, the most important thing is that we're alive. But the things would go back to how they used to be. Cold nights, howling in the forest, blood, cold, hunger, fear. No, I don't want to go back to that. So what if we're alive? Where's the hope? I'd rather die than go back to living like that. What are you saying? Get a hold of yourself.
He's right. We won't go back. It was you who got us started on mining Originium in the first place. It's all your fault. You ruined everything. You ruined the village, ruined all our lives. This man must be made to pay. We all agree, don't we?
Enough of this. There's a catastrophe right on your doorstep. Haven't we already paid enough of a price? Are we going to lose even more lives just for this meaningless venting? Mirai, why are you back?
Oh, look, another troublemaker. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
The frightened beasts are heading down the mountain. The netting's been sabotaged and someone's trying to stir up chaos. All to force us to wait for death in despair and abandon the hope we could have had. Oh. And we still can have away from the Originium mines without having to rely on hunting it either. That's why I came back from the city.
Noir, you were the one who wanted to close the mine and ruin our lives.
Yes, because Originium is dangerous and hard to control. I even considered blowing up the mine. But I also understand that we owe our livelihood to it. Do you remember back when we were trying to climb out of poverty? Were we in despair then? Was it really the Originium that got us to where we are today? We seized our chances to escape poverty because we had the determination to look for a way, and the courage to expose ourselves to Originium.
Yeah.
Since ancient times, hunters have made a living by fighting beasts. Back when there was no Originium, many of them died, but we survived as a people. Courage and hope come hand in hand, and we've never abandoned our courage. So hope will always appear by our side.
Don't listen to her. She was the one who wanted to close the mine, and now she's destroyed the mine. She's practically admitted it.
But Mirai only tried to convince us to close it because overexploitation would cause a catastrophe, and now that really happened.
We were wrong to doubt her.
You're familiar with the plant in this flask, aren't you? Among the goods that we trade with the outside, the Suzuka herb is second only to Originium in terms of trade volume. It only grows in certain areas and in small numbers. We've had to risk life and limb to harvest it. But I came back to study the possibility of cultivating it and planting it outside its native habitat. This one I'm holding right here is my greatest breakthrough. It can survive outside of these mountains. It's the first brick that will lay the foundation of our future as a village. But first we need to survive.
Survive? Yeah. What were we thinking? We thought so hard to get to this point. We can't just die here. No. We'll lose all our income without the mine. Ugh.
Open your mouth again, and I'm sticking your head in the mud. This entire conversation is a waste of time. This man damaged the netting, tried to lure the beasts to cause chaos, then distracted everyone from what was going on. While on the other side of the village, he had some people moving his assets out, something he clearly planned ahead of time. I've already taken care of them. You will now head to the shelter in an orderly line and await evacuation. Reinforcements from Rhode Island will be arriving soon. Now you can walk there yourselves, or I can knock you out and have someone carry you. Choose. Thank you.
There's a beast outbreak, and they're approaching the village. That's the biggest threat we're facing right now.
We'll handle the beasts. I can't guarantee we'll get all of them, but we'll do what we can to ensure your safety. No, please stay here and protect the evacuating villagers. You're the only ones who can. And take care of Mirai for me.
Headman, where are you going?
I'm the headman of Roka Village, and the leader of its hunters. The beasts have emerged from their forests, so I'll fight them to my last breath, even if I'm on my own.
Honey, take Tsuyomaru to the shelter. I think I left my machete in the backyard.
Yes, it's there. Come back safely.
The headman's always treated our family well. It's high time we repaid him. Yes, we're with him, whether it's in the mines or in the forests. We've always been hunters. Take up your spears. We'll protect our own village and our own families. Headman, wait for us. I'm going too.
Mom, didn't Dad say there were no hunters anymore? No, Sumiko. The hunters have always been here, ready to step forward whenever danger approaches.
And now they're putting on a show. There are no hunters. I'm the only one. And that leads us into the battle, but we shall proceed to our usual after scene.
Get down, old man.
Die!
What?
Not you, the beasts!
Well, get down. I'm setting off my Originium arts. Grab my hand. Are you okay?
I'm fine. What was that? Those beasts went down in the blink of an eye.
Originium arts using this arts unit. My own special trick.
Parlor tricks.
The traps will slow the rest. Lead them to Sumoto's group. We can head over to the other side, where the defenders are thinner. Take it easy, old man.
Got the crap. What's with that look on your face?
No, just thinking back to the days when us hunters fought side by side. It's been 7 years, and this is the first time you haven't told me to get lost or called me a traitor. I didn't think you would really take up
Akira's hunting spear. You can say it. I know you were Akira's mentor. You didn't think I would go kill those beasts.
You weren't a hunter at the time, and you objected to Akira becoming one. His sacrifice changed you.
I'm glad you noticed.
Old man, there's something perhaps you've misunderstood all this time, and I wasn't sure how to tell you. I didn't abandon him to die.
Lure powder.
You knew?
I'm his father. That idiot sacrificed himself to protect your mine.
I still remember the look on his face that day. His eyes, his every move. The cries of the beasts were everywhere. He opened his mouth to say something, but it was drowned out by the noise. I remember his pale lips. Oh, could he have been saying... Akira! Kuso, where did all these beasts come from? What did you do? Don't tell me you...
Stay away, master. Don't follow me no matter what.
Come back! Don't stop them here!
No, master. You should know better than anyone. We can't stop an outbreak like this. Many people will be hurt, even killed. The Originium mine would be destroyed. Everything you've worked for would be lost. I can't let that happen.
Weren't you against the mine? Just let it burn! Come back!
Your life matters more! The beasts are gathering. Time is short, master. Yes, I was against the mine. Originium is unknown and dangerous. It will bring disaster we can't even predict. I also can't forgive the taking of innocent lives. This was the inevitable result of your failing to respect nature and letting greed take over. But I also remember the day we went into the city together and saw the high-rise buildings. The bright lights and shining signs all made possible by Originium. Originium is valuable. It will lift the village out of poverty, become the pillar of our livelihood. We've come this far. Don't let this opportunity go to waste. Akira! Wasn't it you who taught me that a hunter must fight for the survival of his clan? Out of the way, you damned beast! This beast outbreak is the wrath of nature. But I'm also fighting for survival. We stare each other in the eye as equals. Promise me one last thing, Master. Oh. Lead the others. Survive. Come back, Akira! And please, pass this on to my father, that stubborn old-timer. He said, "I'm sorry, father."
I've had enough of your tall tale. He never called me father. That brat. Oof! But
Only the old man's back is visible, but he could hear the sound of water dripping. Tears that had been forced back for too long, finally overflowing.
I miss him.
Up above!
That monster. It's coming.
The beasts are coming again. Chiksho, how could there be so many? We don't have enough hands.
You stay here. Set up those traps and stop the beasts. That one is mine. I'm a hunter. That's my quarry.
Yato, here comes the Rathalos. I knew it. After our previous encounters, it now sees all humans as a threat. It landed in the Kashiwao house, and it's getting closer. The reinforcements are still pretty far off. Not all the villagers have made it to the shelter either. This is the worst possible timing. You oversee the evacuation. I'll... Over there, Yato! Beasts! I see 5 of them! The stampede is coming. The hunter's defenses can't stop all of them. We must protect the evacuating villagers. What do we do then? Sit there and sit here and wait for the Rathalos? That will only make things worse. I'm thinking we need a way to stop the Rathalos for a while, at least until all the villagers are safe. Kashiwao. Kashiwao? But we don't have enough. But we don't even know where he is, and he's just one man. I see him near the hut. He's close to the Rathalos. Yato, maybe we should. We'll have time to complete the evacuation if he can delay it. You mean we're not helping him? We just have to trust him. The old man opens a can of oil.
You think so too, eh? Today's a good day. The heavens burn red. So many things have happened lately. A little girl came back all grown up, stirring up all kinds of trouble. A fire-breathing monster appeared out of nowhere, and 2 outsiders went in trouble near the forest. Then beasts came rushing up. Their mine blew up. A catastrophe struck, and they couldn't even run away properly. And the funniest part? People keep coming to dig up my past from the mud and rub my face in it. They all say it's for my sake, but each shard of it they dig up cuts me open, piece by piece. Noircorn had the right idea. The truth isn't important. Let the past stay in the past. Let the dead stay dead. Burn it all. Leave nothing behind.
He hears the sobbing of flames, swallowing up the fragments of the past. The ashes of time drift before his eyes, burning away the gaze of regret. Burn.
This fire is so beautiful. You would have done the same, wouldn't you, Akira? I'll take the next step. Hey, over here! Even the corners of your jaws are cinched. Your scales are full of scars. You big ugly. Huh. What's that? Sparks from your mouth. Are you angry? Don't look away. Your enemy's right here. Look at me. Yes, that's right. Be angry. Angrier. Come on! Face me, you monster!
Alright, and we shall continue on to stage number 9, titled Battle, Blazing Soul of a Warrior. And it says, I will extinguish the flames with my own hands. Let's finish this. And as for the map itself, it's also it's a very unique version of a map, with 2 maps actually in one. I will say, however, I don't know if it will happen during the recording that I will do for this narration, but even during my initial run of this map, I've never seen the map shift to the other end, so if there is a specific condition that you need to do to get that achieved, someone leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'm very curious what the condition is, if it has to last longer or what is happening, but that is beside the point. First, we have a story to cover. So, before part. He kneeled on the ground, right hand still clutching the spear planted in the dirt. His body was gravely injured, but he felt no pain, perhaps because it was pulsing from all directions and his aging nerves were too dulled to feel it. Or perhaps his skin was too scorched, to the point it could not comprehend the pain, the searing temperatures evaporating any kind of liquid or vapor, his blood instantly hardening to black scabs on his body. His throat felt like it was on fire, with a strangely sweet scent emanating from it, and he suddenly felt a convulsion from his abdomen as something surged up.
This is so disgusting.
A huge roar rumbled in his eardrums, and his consciousness managed to peel away from the muddy chaos. He raised his head, staring at the enormous behemoth rearing up before him. He stared into its eyes.
Oh, it's you. Yes, I remember now.
Images from mere minutes ago flashed through his mind, and he seized the fleeting opportunity in between the flames to hurl the spear towards the Rathalos' head. He hit his target, but at the cost of failing to dodge the beast's retaliatory charge.
Hey! I made you bleed! How does it feel to be wounded? I've known all along. Those scales on your skull aren't so tough after all. I can spot your vulnerability at a glance. You are not invincible. You can bleed, and you will fall. Wait! Hey! You! Where are you going? I just wounded you. You can't run away now. I can still fight. We haven't battled it out yet.
He leaned on his hunting spear, trying to prop up his body, but his knee would only stay at an angle. The spear's shaft was sunk deep in the ground, and his shadow trembled violently.
You can't leave here. I won't let you go. I managed to make you bleed this time, so next, I will plunge my spear into your heart.
He raised the spear up high, and perhaps because he thought it was his final chance, his crooked body exploded with unimaginable strength. He burst into a run, and once again charged at the life he could only look up to.
I'm not dead yet. Sure, one more time.
His right hand was still holding the spear in a death grip, nails digging into his palm. He hit his thighs in desperation, but the muscles merely trembled unresponsively. This time he had truly exhausted any last trace of strength in his body. The spear slipped from his hand.
Get up! Stand up! Damn it! Get up!
His eyes widened. He saw it. A young child raising his bow and arrow, facing the Rathalos. His thin arms trembled, but his gaze never wavered. Monster, don't get any closer to Mr. Kashiwao. I am Kazuya. I am also a hunter of this village. I won't let you destroy it. We will stop you here. Corn.
I'm here. I got him. The kid should be fine. Scholar, you take the kid and Kashiwao somewhere safe.
Yeah, got it. No, got the cart here. Naraphalos is injured? By this hunter and a Terran spear? This hunter, his body is so light. Where did he get all that strength from? Mister...
You're really a brave one, and I'd even call you a proper hunter. But how about we let the adults handle it today? The flames blazed brilliantly. At that very moment, another bruised body stood before the Rathalos. She bent down and stretched out an arm, picking up the spear from the ground, and then drove it firmly into the ground. She straightened her back. Thank you for your time, Kashiwao. Now please, take a good rest on the sidelines. As for what comes next, leave it to us.
I'm ready.
Battle! Comience!
Alright, and that will lead us into the battle. And of course, this will be where we add the description of our boss for the stage, which is of course the Rathalos. And it says, the Crimson Carapaced Flame Commanding Rathalos. Its capacity for flight excels among flying wyverns. Its aerial assault and flaming breath combine to dominate over a vast array of life. Owing to the astonishing strength by which it rules the air, it's also known as the King of the Skies. Alright, and like I said, this is pretty much just a boss battle stage with only a first clear reward. So, no autoplay here, we will do this live. I will not be commenting over it, I will just do the thing, and yeah, all I can say is enjoy. This will be the team, and as it states on the map, you can deploy both ground and ranged units on any tile on the map. So then, let us proceed.
いい？ちびっ子たち。戦場ではあんたたちもドクターに従うようにね。あっちに行く。命令を黙っていろ。どうか私を信じて。了解。ベッド、敵を左に引きつけて。どこを目指すの？どこを目指す？身を焦がす苦しみはほんの一瞬。ここからは一歩も引かない。命令を黙っている。了解。私の仲間を傷つけたければ、まずはこの盾に許可を取ってからにしてもらおう。これで静かになってくれる。了解。ベッド、敵を左に引きつけて。じゃあ行ってくる。射撃補助モジュール展開と集中。さっさと片付ければ楽に。指定の位置に向かう。指定の位置に向かう。指定の位置に向かう。ここでは何も起きていない。遅い。テクニックを使えばこれくらい楽勝でしょ。さっさと片付ければ楽に。イエスサー。この一歩外は危ないからね。行って。了解した。切りつく。悪くない位置取りだね。あれがターゲットか。高こうが抗おうが無駄だ。ターゲット確認。すぐに終わらせる。遺言の手。ターゲット確認。お見通しだぜ。君たちの命は私が守る。了解。カート、クソ村に地雷を仕掛けて。準備が整った。高こうが抗う。私がタグリンだ。切りつく。遺言の伝達。家まで送ろうか。ドクター、私が行くから。遺言の伝達。断る。じゃあ行ってくる。何を片付ければいい？遅い。了解。カート、クソ村に地雷を仕掛けて。あれがターゲットか。レンズ。命令を縛られるつもりはない。 準備が整った。はっ。準備が整った。ようやく私の出番。これで静かになってくれる。指定の位置に向かう。ここからは一歩も。ライト、付近の敵を妨害。ほら頑張れ。もうちょっとで僕に勝てるかもしれないよ。さてどうするかな。私に出会ったのが運の尽きた。何を片付ければいい。どうか私を信じて。了解。ライト、付近の敵を妨害。私が頼るんだ。遺言の伝達断る。準備が整った。Mission accomplished。無駄玉はなし。完璧。
Not the character I was hoping to get here, but good. Anyway, that's the boss battle stage. So yeah, if anybody knows what the condition is for the right side of the map to get into effect, I'm guessing it's... Is there a mechanic to chop off its tail? Or do I just have to go longer and let the thing cook for a while? But anyway. Anyway, do leave me a comment in the comment section. I'm interested because I haven't seen it happen, and I've only tried this literally with this one. It's literally 3 times. So anyway, let us now proceed into the after part.
Smithy, quick, make haste and record what I'm about to say. This could be perhaps the only record of a Rathalos hunt in Terra. Ma'am! This is the first Terra Research Commission, and I'm its leader, the feline scholar. Ma'am? What's wrong, Smithy? Isn't it natural that I be the leader? Unsatisfied? Then you can be the chief artisan. Anyway, enough of that. We stand on the forefront of the hunt, behind a rock on the front lines. The ultimate showdown is happening right before our eyes. On one side we have the King of the Skies. On the other we have the local fledgling Terran hunters, accompanied by a self-proclaimed battle-hardened feline, the Palico. Though it seems like the Rathalos will win, the current situation is intense beyond imagination. Both sides enter the white-hot stage of flames. Are you writing this all down, Smithy? And now we see the Palico has dodged the Rathalos' attack. Splendid! His attention has been drawn away. Seizing the opportunity, Noir Corn rushes towards the Rathalos' tail and raises his longsword. And then... he's sent flying! Pathetic! Noir Corn seems to be fumbling his moves, so let's see how the others is faring. Yato waits for the Rathalos to attack him, and strikes it from the side. She cleverly dodges his attacks, manages to reach its underside, and aims for her target, the Rathalos' right wing. However, it suddenly takes to the air and breathes a huge jet of flame. Her attacks have been neutralized. What a pity. Meow. Now Noir is once again attacking the Rathalos. This time he does not miss, and the long sword ruthlessly cuts into the Rathalos' tail. However, he seems not to have controlled his strength and was blown away by the Rathalos' tailspin. That's twice already. But he stands. The soul of a fighter burns brightly, and he goes in for another round. Korn.
I'm fine. My chest feels a little tight. Stop looking at me. I'm really fine.
Even as the Rathalos' health dwindles, it becomes even more difficult to approach it. The originium dust surrounding it has increased in density, exponentially increasing the power of its flames, and its attack patterns are becoming hard to predict. Its acuity has also increased along with its aggressiveness, and it's no longer easily distracted, making it impossible to sneak attacks in. Kisama, we're back to square one. It's difficult to close the distance. The Rathalos isn't facing us anymore. That direction is... It turned towards a temporary shelter, but the villagers are still waiting to be evacuated.
Energy into blade. Energy as blade.
Noir Korn, don't get distracted. We have to figure out a way to stop its advance. Your longsword, even though it's not easy to control the direction of your swings, I could be able to use it as a springboard to approach the Rathalos just like before. This time I'll aim for its weak spot and stop in its tracks. But with the Rathalos in range, your Majesty will be completely exposed to its attacks, and will most likely have to attack it head-on. There's no time. Just go with my plan, Korn.
Yato...
What? Hurry!
Listen, it took a heavy blow to its skull. And although it looks like it's already recovered from that, its jaw is moving differently now. We should wait for just the right moment to aim for its head and deal a knockout blow.
But given the current situation, our odds of getting a good angle are nearly zero.
If we can manage to knock it down though, that would be a good enough chance, right?
It would, but... Korn, what are you doing?
I'm going to create the chance. Palico, I'll use that move you told me about, even though it's real difficult. Believe in me, only I can do it. I believe in you too, Yato, and only you can seize this chance.
I will.
Good. Control the blade and aim for the enemy with your energy to unleash an even stronger power. Energy as blade, and aim for the enemy. What was it? That one move. The one the Palico taught me, similar to the one I was trained in. The most convenient move to chop things with.
Your Majesty, while the Rathalos is injured, use the Spirit Slash I mentioned.
Right. Alright, I got it. Next, hold the blade near the waist during the attack. And then... Unsheath!
Yay, Spirit Slash!
You did?
Your Majesty, the time has come.
I remember now. The longsword's strongest move. I can feel the call of the power. Its name is... Spirit Helmbreaker! Huh! Noir Korn leapt onto the Rathalos, using his momentum to launch himself into the air. As if pulled by an invisible wire, his body was hurled high up into the sky.
His energy accumulates, condensing into the smallest speck at the highest point. And then it bursts. With a speed meant for thousands of kilometers, he slashes downward at Raphalos' body.
So much ash. I can't make anything out. Korn? Are you alright?
I'm good. But my body kinda doesn't want to move.
He pulled off the Spirit Breaker in such a short time. Oh, meowsing! But Raphalos is too perceptive. He made a counterattack. Make way for me, Smithy. It's our turn to pull out the card again. Here we go. Quickly, throw our corn on top. Smithy, what are you doing? That's not our corn. This is... The Raphalos' tail. He chopped it off. It's fallen. This is your best chance.
No time for hesitation. I'm moving in.
Quick, bring our corn away. Don't interfere with my note-taking.
I'm leaving the rest to you, Yato.
The wound. Where is it? Somewhere in the lower jaw? Curses, there's so much dust swirling around. Visibility is so poor. Found it. There. I'll finish you off here.
Your Majesty, please stop.
Damn it. I lost a perfect chance.
To actually recover so quickly even with its tail cut off, this Raphalos is truly incredible. It's about to take flight. The direction, it seems it's still heading towards the temporary shelter.
Is there no way to knock it down? There must be, right? Palico?
Your Majesty, the only thing that could work now would be a flash bomb, but mine broke before I came here. With our current resources, we have no way to fighting it if it doesn't come down to attack us.
Then are we going to just stand and watch it destroy everything? Waste all of our efforts? No, it can't end like this.
The most important lesson from the hunters who fought these monsters throughout the ages with their own flesh and blood is that we must drag them into our hunting grounds to be able to compete with these creatures beyond imagination. Raphalos is the king of the sky, so the sky is its territory. There might be no way to stop one like this. Hey, Smithy, don't go over there. It's dangerous. One tool that works just like a flash bomb. Right here for me.
What are you saying?
You managed to craft one? It's because of this. I found some local originium slugs in this stinky fowl's nest earlier that can emit pretty strong light. I mixed some other materials in and bang, crafted a flash bomb kind of tool. Your Majesty, this is the ultimate weapon against the Raphalos. Throw it at its head and it will explode with a blinding light. Remember to shield your eyes.
It's like throwing a grenade, right? I got it.
You can call it the shiny flashnade.
Pass it to me. Aiming. Fall!
You did it! The Raphalos has fallen out of the sky!
Palico, what's the most effective move to use on the Raphalos with these dual blades I'm using?
The mid-air spinning blade dance. You must first enter demon mode, and then jump in the direction you want to attack.
Skip to the important part.
Spin your dual blades in the most violent way, and dance through the air.
Blade dance. An opening. I need to find one. A mid-air blade dance.
Eat me a blade!
Raphalos! I'm here! I'm your opponent!
She rushed straight in, with nothing but her quarry in her eyes. The dual blade spun and whirled in the air, slicing through the smoke and dust. Her body whirled through the air as if dancing.
We managed to tie it up. It's fortunate I learned the method of binding monsters in an eastern village.
Did we do it? Finally, victory.
Your Majesty, it will be difficult to keep it trapped for too long. So you must decide what to do post haste.
I know.
Previously, I had thought the Rathalos should not be your target, but after having hunted side by side with Mia, I have changed my mind. I did not understand this great land of yours and the existence of Originium, so I cannot be sure of what others of what other threats the Rathalos may pose in the future. This is your home, so the decision should be left to Mia.
Her gaze swept over the massive body, and ashes scattered everywhere from its struggle. Even though its scales were riddled with scars, its might was still daunting.
With truly impressive vitality. For the safety of everyone that comes after, I must ensure that the threat is eradicated. For that is my duty. Let's finish it off.
Yato, wait!
What's wrong?
Listen to me. There's no need.
No need to what?
I'm joking so bad. There's no need to use the end of to end its. There's no need for us to end its life.
And your reasoning is?
Because.
Let Meow explain. Look at the paw prints with the Originium clusters. Smithy, hand me out the hammer. We will conduct some tapping.
It fell off?
Norcorn, take this and test it for active Originium. I learned from the other scholar that the Rathalos' violent temperament was a side effect of the Originium's influence, but it's not actually infected, even though it was spreading Originium dust everywhere. This may not be enough to dispel your doubts, but I also discovered something very interesting deep in the mine and compiled it with my notes, and have confirmed the following. In truth, the Rathalos has been fighting against the Originium's influence, and the clusters are a product of its resistance. Norcorn, the test results confirm my hypothesis. Yes?
Yeah, these Originium clusters aren't active.
The Rathalos is merely contaminated with active Originium from the area, and as long as it's not in an active Originium zone, will spread no dust on its own.
But we can't guarantee that it won't appear next to an Originium mine in the future, so it's still dangerous. Or do I have to find a way to transport it somewhere and keep it locked up?
No, I promise you it won't fly too far from here. It's already old, and starvation has worn it out, and after this hunt, its mobility is extremely poor now. I think it went to the Originium mine to try and recover its strength, for their nests resemble the volcanic areas we saw deep inside. Indeed, I recall seeing it head towards a volcano when I first spotted it. And now that I think on it, it must be trying to return from whence it came.
Korn, what do you think?
I think since it no longer poses a threat, and since it didn't attack anyone deliberately...
The Rathalos...
The Rathalos was panting violently, fiery sparks splashing out of its jaw and over its new scars. Its body was still trembling non-stop, squeezing out the very last of its breath, desperately fighting against its shackles.
That scared him out of me. You are all tied up, still moving around.
The catastrophe is coming closer and closer. In the face of unreal disaster, we are truly insignificant. Palico, you're wrong about one thing.
Huh?
This land has never belonged to us alone, but also to all the life here that's just trying to survive. Fighting each other for the chance to live, even if they die bravely in the process.
Yato, where are you going?
Reinforcements are almost here, so I'll head to the shelter and help the villagers evacuate.
What about the Rathalos?
I don't waste time on anything unrelated to my mission, since there will always be some other meddler ready to sort things out. Captain's log number 5. This is Rhode Island Operations Team A4, Captain Yato. The source of the originium dust spreading in Roka village has been dealt with, and the threat has been eliminated. The next step is to complete the evacuation and ensure the villagers are safe from the catastrophe. Mission complete. End of recording.
Hurry, lady! The monster is flying away!
Huh? The Rathalos flew away? Huh, I expected as much.
Is it because those people couldn't defeat it? Were they not strong enough?
No, they're truly strong. They defeated a whole bunch of originium slugs after all.
Are originium slugs the same level as that monster?
They definitely made the right choice.
It flew away. My moneymaker has flown away. Get in the car now. We have yet to settle our accounts. Taki wiping his knife.
Akira, you would have done it this way as well, wouldn't you? I knew you saved our Arma Claw Beast cub back then.
It flew away.
It really flew away. Flew away!
What are you guys dallying about for? Come over and help.
Alright, and we shall finish off our story with the final cutscene to round things out with. Titled Daybreak. A new story begins from here. In the end, the hunter didn't defeat the monster. But the villagers had left, leaving behind only empty ruins to burn in the flames. Wounded and without a target, the monster roared and bellowed, and returned to the forest on its own. As though leaving with the parting words, "I'll be back." The hunter stands quietly facing the forest. A long time passes before he answers.
What? The hunter doesn't beat the monster? Lame. Yeah, he's the greatest hunter in the village. Why couldn't he beat the monster?
That's just how the story goes.
But the Rathalos that attacked the village got away. It's cause they were all too weak. When I become a hunter, I'll chase the Rathalos away in the blink of an eye. Cut it out. I saw it with my own eyes. You're no match for it. Look, what do you think this is? The spear used to hunt the Rathalos? Yato told me to take care of it for now, which means I'm worthy of carrying it. I'm the one who's gonna be the greatest hunter in the whole village. You just go home and sleep. I dare you to say that again. Spirit Helmbreaker, take that!
Alright kids, that's enough. What did the hunter say in the end? Well, it's time for lunch. Go eat. And I'll continue the hunter story afterwards. Go on now.
Mirai, it's already been half a month, but sometimes it feels like it was yesterday.
Your memory is improving.
I've never forgotten about Akira.
Is old Kashibao awake?
Still in a coma, but the doctor says he's gotten a lot better. He has a lot of life in him yet.
Things have been so busy lately. New streets and new houses. Good thing we'd saved up some money from the Originium mining and made Hiroshi Rito cough up the money he embezzled. The beginning of is the easy part though. The question is, what kind of industry should the village pursue? Mirai, can't we try the Suzuka cultivation method you mentioned, once things have settled down?
Oh, I was lying about that.
Lying?
You know how sensitive Suzuka herbs are. It's not really feasible to cultivate them outside their native habitat with current technology.
But you said...
You guys would never have been willing to move if I didn't. You lost your wits in the face of danger and Rito played you like a fiddle. I had to find a way to get people to leave.
In the future, just thinking about the livelihood of the village is making my head hurt.
Actually, I do have an idea.
Really?
Really.
Go ahead then, I'm listening.
We can make use of our experience working in the mines. We can have our people go out to work in mature Originium projects to bring back safe, established technologies, relying on existing supply chains.
Do you realize what you're saying? We finally managed to escape the Originium mine, and now you're trying to send us back in? Weren't you one who wanted to blow it up?
It wasn't about the mine itself, but the fact that you were digging up more than you could manage, and none of you would listen to reason. We've been working directly with Originium ore for so long and gained so much experience. That can only come in handy.
Originium is too dangerous. Catastrophe, horripathy. We are really going to go back to living in fear?
Even so, Uncle, there is nowhere in Terra we can avoid living alongside Originium. The bright lights of the great cities are fueled by the Originium industry after all. It's too late to turn our backs on it and go back to the old ways.
But how can we...
Starting over doesn't mean abandoning everything we once had. What we know about the Originium industry is just the tip of the iceberg. We need to move forward, learn from mature industrial systems and gain more experience. We'll learn to benefit from Originium in a safe, controlled manner. We brought this disaster on ourselves because of our short-sightedness, but that doesn't mean we have to abandon the idea entirely. On the contrary, we must learn to respect Originium and respect the destruction it can cause in order to fully enjoy the opportunities that it brings. We shouldn't let the sacrifices of the past go to waste. Besides, we have our friends from Rhode Island helping us now.
Yes. You're right. I should think about the village's future in more practical terms. Originium industry, I don't know how much of our existing experience will apply, but like you said, it's worth a try.
And when the situation in the village improves, can you build me a beautiful lab with the latest technologies?
What? Vern? What are you planning?
To cultivate Suzuka outside its native habitat, of course, along with other research with the aim of breaking free from our reliance on Originium. To bring us closer to a day when we won't have to cover in the shadow of disaster, when we can stand tall and look towards the light. Towards tomorrow.
I'm still worried, Yato. What if the doctor finds out that we took a detour here on our way back from the mission?
Are you going to tell them?
Of course not.
Here we are.
Wow. Everything really was destroyed by the catastrophe. The whole hill was reduced to ashes, and those ashes rose into the clouds and continue to fall even now.
How long has it been, Korn?
Half a month.
Already? Feels like it happened yesterday. I heard the felines have been integrated into Rhode Island.
Yes, the official name is the Feline Task Force, led by the Palico, but the scholar insists on calling it the Terra Research Commission and claims to be the leader. They deal with unusual life forms, record the flora and fauna of Terra, and look for a way home. The Palico added that last bit, because apparently Artie and Scholar have completely forgotten about it. Yeah, I can imagine the Scholar's excitement. The rebuilding of Roka is underway too. Everything's getting better, don't worry. Do you know why I came here? Not to reminisce about the past, that's for sure. You know me so well. Do you remember the Rathalos? The monitoring report says it hasn't left the Sobo Mountains. It can be seen circling them amidst the clouds of ashes from time to time. It won't be easy to spot it from a place like this. Let me take a look. It's right there, up in the sky. Where? Oh, I see it now. I came to... Yato catches a piece of ash. Witness its fall. The Rathalos flies towards the skies, among the drifting ashes. It flies further and further, as though drawn by a thread. A thread that would inevitably break at some point. Then it will fall towards the earth. He looks to his right and sees her gazing towards the sky. His gaze slowly moves downwards, stopping at her fingertips. Noir Corn reaches out. Oh, you got some ash on your shoulder. Are you smiling? It's nothing. Let's go. I'll be here, the hunter said. At the end of the story, many years have passed. New houses have been built in the village, and the forest looks different. The young hunter stands where the old hunter once did, facing the monster born anew. They gaze into each other's eyes. And that is the end of our story. As always, considering that in literally a day from now we will be getting the EX stages as well, if by any chance there is any kind of additional cutscene or whatnot on the EX stages, I will be obviously recording that separately and uploading it as a special bonus episode to this playlist. But if there's nothing, obviously there's not gonna be anything anymore. But anyway, this pretty much marks the end of this side story. So before I go into my thoughts about this, once again, thank you very much for listening, watching, and interacting with these videos in any form or fashion. So thank you very much. And as I mentioned this, if you did like this video, please consider leaving a like. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. There's a lot more on the channel, and all of that will help me out a ton. Alright, so, thoughts and opinions on this. First and foremost, out of the three collaborative side stories so far, so Operation Originium Dust, it's been a while, and now this is probably my, just slightly under it, but still like my second, I would rank it like the second one. I am biased very to much and not because of the Rainbow Six people in Originium Dust, just because of the story in general. That was like the first side story that allowed us to view the Arknights world from the perspective of, you know, actual human beings who had no idea about this world and were learning along the way. So it was a very interesting insight to watch, and the story itself, developments and such, were also very, very interesting. at least in my opinion. However, this side story is pretty much a summer blockbuster, and I quite like it for that. Pretty dope, and I'll also say this. The script for this side story would make for such a better Monster Hunter movie than that freaking abomination that that Hollywood made. Oh my god. I swear, the only good thing about that Monster Hunter movie is the monsters themselves. And I know it, I've sat through that thing. And I'm not a huge Monster Hunter buff. My only experience with Monster Hunter is literally through Monster Hunter World, and while I love the music, love the visuals, love the monsters, the armors and weapons look dope, just, I don't know, I'm the story and gameplay type, and not both of those things in that thing didn't sit with me. And obviously Monster Hunter games, from what I know, don't really have any kind of super deep stories that will hook you. Oh my god, will they hook you? That, from all I've heard from other people who play these games, nah, they don't have that, sadly. But yeah, just, I don't know, not gameplay-wise, the game just didn't click with me. And I played it for 70 hours until the nagging feeling at the end of my brain decided to tell me finally that it's me not vibing with the game. But overall, the game is fine. I just don't, I don't know, I don't vibe with it, with the franchise itself. Sue me. Anyway, but yeah, when it comes to the script for this thing, and everything, this would make for such a good movie. This was dope. Eat that, Hollywood. But anyway, when it comes to our two main protagonists, I mean, Noircorn is pretty much the same Noircorn you are used to. If you've, like, he doesn't appear in many big things, but he does appear in a bunch of smaller operator records here and there, like sporadically tends to pop up, and he's pretty much the same Noircorn that he is here. Oh my god, I do feel bad for my man here. Yato, I don't know if Yato is actually dense when it comes to that stuff, but oh my god, Yato, please open your eyes. Jesus Christ, I mean, they're open right now. See it. Acknowledge it. Noircorn has quite the battle ahead of himself. One day, buddy. One day she will figure it out. But maybe you have to actually say it. Maybe you have to actually say it. But anyway, he did some cool shit. He actually managed to do some cool stuff with the blade itself as well, which is nice to see that they grew accustomed a bit, at least, to the new gear. I do need to find out why. I need to reread Yato's original file or her altar file if it mentions why she's so sensitive to the light, because I really can't remember. Maybe someone can remind me in the comment section below before I find out myself, because I really can't remember why her eyes are so, if it got actually mentioned, why her eyes are so sensitive to light. But very interesting that the Kirin gear would I guess slight electricity that comes from the gear would kind of help her out, so she doesn't have to wear the mask anymore. I do wonder what is happening there on a biological level in those oculars. Anyway. Anyway, the two of them as protagonists were fine, and I love that our two old two-star characters that we had from the beginning of the game got so much love and redesign done to them, where they can showcase what they're capable of. And I can only hope that they're gonna do that down the line for all of the 2 stars. During the Originium Dust narration, I said that my current speculation is that maybe, just maybe, and I'm purely basing this on Rangers himself. I know that people are saying, oh, he has an injury and everything. Hold your horses, buddy. He did some crazy shit apparently in Originium Dust, so I can only recommend that story. The guy went ape shit and has quite the backstory to himself and history with warfare. So even if you say he couldn't be a you know, 5 or 6 star alter, if the Destiny collab happens finally and they reveal it, do remember that the little ghosts can resurrect people and they keep them alive. They could restructure his entire body. He could be Diesel as hell again. So my bet is on Rangers if they're gonna continue upgrading the 2 stars. Durin, I do not know, and when it comes to F12, I'll say this, because that specific guy pops up in a very specific point in a story. I'm trying to be vague here, because his appearance kinda shook me the first time it happened. That guy has some weird history behind him, and it's not fully... How should I say it? It's not fully revealed yet where he's coming from. I do personally have an idea, and I don't want to say anything, because it would spoil certain things. So I'll keep my mouth shut. But yeah, I think he's a special case. And if he receives something in the future, it will be special, potentially. But yeah, I do hope they keep upgrading the 2 stars, regardless. Alright, but back to this story. Overall, plot-wise, I mean, it's the happenings in the village. It's pretty much fear of getting discovered because they were doing shady shit behind closed doors, and they didn't want to people find out what they were doing. So the people being as antsy as they were, understandable, but also then the mob mentality at the end, and that aggressive idiot who was literally stealing money, provoking everybody to be on his side for a while. My god, mob mentality. When you seize the moment when a mob is in a panic and doesn't clearly think, good lord, you can do a lot with people, and it's scary. But yeah, all of that was fine. I did, however, probably my standout character for this whole thing was the old man. Yoshitaka was, let's put it this way, I will probably for the next whole week feel his presence on my vocal cords. I feel it even now. Speaking for so many episodes now and voicing this old angry man and yelling a lot is quite taxing. Funnily enough, a completely side tangent here to mention is that usually the way I record these episodes, everything is recorded essentially in one go, but because of certain circumstances lately, because my PC, for some stupid reason, it sometimes decides to, well, crash and reset itself, and it happened already once where I lost like 50 minutes of recording. I decided to do something, and it happened very recently as well. I decided to do something differently, especially for this series, where I literally record one of the cutscenes, stop recording, and just cut around them to make the transition seamlessly. It's still one single recording. Every single episode that you're watching on this channel where it's a narration of a story is more or less recorded literally in one sitting, from start to finish. However, on the last part of this narration, on part 3, in this, and I don't know, it happens randomly. It's just a vocal cord thing, because I did a lot of straining with the voice for Yoshitaka during that whole sequence in one bit. For some reason, there was like this tiny nagging, pinching feeling on the top of my vocal cords, like someone poked a needle there, and the needle is there, and I just had to stop the recording. There's probably an audible jump in music for a split second when it's screen transitions, but I had to literally stop the recording because of this old man. and cough my goddamn soul out for like a whole minute. Holy shit. But yeah, I did like voicing him. TLDR, I did like voicing him. No matter how much he stressed my voice. Now the cats, on the other hand. I'll say this, and it's not because he spoke the least, but out of the 3 cats, Smithy is my favorite, even though he does a lot of mischief. He is a crafter, and I'm usually always prone to crafting in a lot of RPGs, especially MMOs. So yeah, that's my favorite. Scholarly cat, I'll let Kaltsit deal with him. Palico is fine, but someone needs to teach the Palico that the gear he was bestowed by his hunting companion, that the hunting companion was just thinking like, okay, he looks stupid, I love him now. Oh, someone needs to teach the cat the truth. Or maybe not, I don't know. Oh boy. But yeah, interestingly enough, I do like, kind of like the ending as well, that they are on Mirai's suggestion that they are gonna keep on doing mining, essentially, to keep themselves afloat for a while, until she has a breakthrough with those plants, which is, at least, look, while she's trying to use the talents they accumulated over the past years, obviously, why would you want that to go to waste? At least she also has a plan for the future, which is a very feasible plan. Crossbreeding or adapting the plant that she already has, or plants that she already has, to a new environment. Yes, it's a taxing thing, but it's doable. And if that plant is really that valuable, good thing on them. They're gonna have a pretty secure future with that thing, and won't have to worry about goddamn Originium then. At least not the mining of Originium, which will help them quite a lot. Also, very interesting how the story ends with a like fade to black and a text suggesting that years down the line. Now the question is, I mean, it could be interpreted both ways. Either the old Rathalos died, considering that they already said that it's an old one, and maybe it laid an egg. Maybe it was a female. Maybe it laid an egg, and a new one was born. And a new one is now living in the territory, considering it says reborn, which again, like I said, could be interpreted both ways. It either is the old one is reinvigorated and still up and about, or a new one has claimed that territory now as its home turf, the offspring of the old one. Could be, but who knows? But I do like that the village picked up the hunting thing again, and that apparently there are now hunters again in the village who are actually pursuing the profession, as we've seen by the kids actually aspiring to be future hunters, which is a good thing. It's a tradition, and while some traditions can, tradition should never fall into complete forgetness, completely lost to time. Keep them alive, especially if they are useful. And hunting is useful. I mean, it provides food. And yeah, what else to say? That was pretty much the majority of the characters. The only other supporting characters that kind of stand out is the asshole who was embezzling money, and I mean, he was pretty much the box standard asshole. So I don't really have anything else to say about him. Oh, but Yoshitaka's son, Akira, I don't really have much to say about him as a character, because all we pretty much get, like, we get two pictures of him. We get the specter that is continuously nagging at Yoshitaka. But it's just a specter. It's a figment of his imagination, so it's not really him. He does, however, have a final moment with the specter, where the specter happily agrees or happily confirms with the dad, with Yoshitaka. So you could say, at least for one final bit, if he did actually see the image of his son while speaking with that apparition, at least for one last time he saw his son smile, if nothing else. But yeah, for what it's worth, the real Akira, I don't really have much to say about him besides that he was definitely a big softie as portrayed, and definitely the heroic I will sacrifice myself if I need to type. And that's about it. He seems like a swell guy. Sadly, we obviously don't get to see too much about the actual one, but we get to see just enough to understand that he was definitely a good person, potentially a very good hunter as well. Even though he did find his end in the end. He even managed to apparently save one of the beasts that they were hunting, like the last offspring or something. My god. That guy was a bit too good for the world. And sadly the world tore him apart. Oh boy. But yeah. I guess that would be it. Don't really have anything much to say outside of, like I said, the plot itself was decent enough. It was interesting to figure out what the villagers were doing, even though it was probably not too hard to figure out at the beginning. Okay, they're definitely doing something in the underground, probably some kind of illegal shipping of goods or whatever the hell is happening in the background. And yeah, it turned out to be Originium, so no surprise there. What else in this world will produce as much money as Originium besides, I don't know, finding some kind of other rare mineral, whatever the hell. But yeah, the plot was okay. The characters, however, and doing goofy shit, doing the Monster Hunter goofy shit were definitely dope. But, oh, before I forget, hearing in pretty good detail about Yato's past was definitely good. I do really appreciate that was added into the story, that she actually talked about her past, and that we as the readers got to actually hear and see how she was before, and actually hear about the final time she got sent on a assassination mission and shit. So all of that, definitely appreciated, liked it very much. But yeah, what else? When it comes to story, nothing much, but when it comes to the channel, there will be one more operator record, and eventually I need to invest into both Yato and Noir, because I do want to level them up, but most of my resources always go into the operator record units, and sadly none of these two has gotten one, so I couldn't prioritize them for this patch cycle, but I'll definitely build them. Will I use them a lot? I don't know yet. I'll see. I do use Texas, but mostly for the, like, as you've seen just now, for the boss stages, and in integrated strategies, those kind of game modes. But in general, for regular maps, I don't really use her too much. She's definitely my go-to for boss stages to make them easier, especially for the recordings and stuff. Probably gonna do the same with Yato once I get the opportunity to actually invest resources and level her up, but I think this will be a while. Don't know when, but once this event is over, how long it will, or rather how long it will be after this event, if nothing changes, we are probably gonna get the rerun of Guide Ahead finally. So in that period, I'll probably cover one of the other side stories that are still left in the game that I haven't done yet. And yeah, we'll see after that. After that should be the next CC season, which means, oh boy, that's gonna be a long-ass window to cover something in. So, expect to see community votes again for what story to cover. But we'll do that when that comes around. In the meantime, like I said, there is one more operator record that I need to unlock for tomorrow and post, which will be Acid Drops. She is almost fully leveled up for the promotion, so need a tiny bit more resources for that, and she's gonna be done. And then we wait for the next batch of those as well, which will come with Guide Ahead, I think. And further stuff later down the line, but oh boy. Honestly, the CC season is gonna be nice, not just because I have time to do some older content and get that out of the way as well, but also because I can actually get back resources before the next thing comes along. Oh boy. But yeah. Anyway, I think this is enough rambling for now. I don't want to bore you guys even longer, so thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking these videos, leaving comments and such, and interacting in any given shape or form. Thank you, and yeah, I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video when it comes along. Until then, have a good one, and bye-bye.